Good morning, everybody. It's the Big K Experience and the Spilt Milk Show with the B. And today we're going to be talking about how I need to stop complaining and just do. What can make your brain more physically open to happiness? How to have a lower risk of premature death? And does sexting make you a pervert? All coming up. All right, so I've been a little worried about whether or not I'm succeeding in my day-to-day, and I'm starting to feel like it was a little mundane, right? That I had become complacent with everything that I'm doing, which, again, if you don't know what complacency means or the actual definition of it, it's feeling like it is as good as it's going to get, or you have gotten as good at something as you're going to get, which is the reason you normally get bored, and why complacent is usually considered a word that means boring. It's not the case. Really, it means it's as good as you're going to get at something. But are you really complacent? So I was looking back at all the things that I do, right? I go to meetings. I take part in step work. I go to classes. I'm trying to get a job as peer support. I have this show. Am I investing myself in all the different avenues in order to make myself better? No, I'm not. And it took me a minute to realize that. And I was about to add something else into these dynamics, right? So if you don't know what my dynamics are, this is the way I consider my life, right? These are the 7 things that I need to pay attention to equally. Maybe not take part in equally, but I gotta pay attention to them equally to make sure I'm covering all my grounds. So it starts off with family, then religion, which I'm gonna think of a different word than religion because I think it throws some people off. But you know, it's just my ideals or my way of life or my belief system. Maybe I'll use belief system. I don't know. We'll work with it. So it's family, belief system, education, friends, significant other, work, and interests, right? Those 7 dynamics I need to pay attention to all the time because those are the 7 things that keep my life moving. So I was about to add an outside influence into those dynamics because I thought that I wasn't pulling them all off, right? Like I was about to invest those dynamics into something else. But I don't think it was the right idea, obviously, because I have not finished my step work, which I still need to do. I have not explored all the avenues for this show and other places to get it, like Podbean, and getting it more on IGTV and more on YouTube and promoting my YouTube page as well. I haven't done any of that, so it's now time to refocus my efforts and drive into completing something, one whole thing, one whole outside influence towards my dynamics. And find a significant other. I've been thinking I need to find a girlfriend soon because someone told me to take a year off, you know, don't do nothing and just, you know, stick to yourself. Well, it's almost a year now, so I think I'm good. It hasn't actually been a whole year, but whatever, dude. It's been a long time. But it's been a long time since I had an actual companion, so I'm going to try to work on that. Anyways, I was about to try to add another outside influence because I have church as well that I go to help boost my belief system and what I consider my code of ethics and what I consider to be my ideals. So I have all these things that I do in order to create those 7 dynamics and focus them in more opportunistic ways. However, I've been lagging ass. And so I was complaining a bunch about not being able to get up to this place in NASCAR so I can apply for the job today. And I was thinking, I'm gonna have to go on Tuesday, but I'll have to take 2 buses and it's gonna take me an hour and a half, so I gotta make sure I have time to get back over to the studio. And then as I'm complaining about it, one of my friends at the meetings is like, hey, I'll give you a ride. Just hit me up when you're done with the show. And I was like, no problem. So I'm gonna go apply to NASCAR as soon as I'm done here. And hopefully I get the job, so everybody cross your fingers. I got some friends, a friend of mine in Vegas that I haven't talked to in forever. That's actually what kicked this whole thing off, was because I hadn't talked to her in a while, right? Well, she called me in the middle of the meeting. And I looked at my phone and I put it down and I was like, no, I'm not gonna answer it because I'm in the middle of a meeting and I don't want anything to interrupt it. But then I realized, wait a minute, I've been waiting for this call for a long time, you know? And if I put it off today because I don't wanna talk, because I'm in the middle of a meeting that I can easily make up for later, what am I doing, right? What am I accomplishing by ignoring the call? Nothing. So I took the call, talked to her, and realized that I need to start accomplishing more things in my life. I need to start finishing things or become better at them. Because while I think I'm as good as I'm going to get on stuff, I'm not. I could always be better. So that's my main goal right now, is to be better at all the different aspects of my life, and like I said, the different avenues, in order to achieve greatness, obviously. But yeah, I'm not there yet, so let's get to some stories.
Did you know Valley View Medical Center's mission is making communities healthier? We do that by offering a spectrum of services locally. Procedures for gastroenterology, orthopedic, ear, nose, and throat, pulmonary, women's health, and more are performed at the medical center. Whether inpatient or outpatient, you can confidently stay close to home for your joint replacement, colonoscopy, or ENT procedures. To learn more, go to valleyviewmedicalcenter.net.
So how to physically change your brain in order to accept happiness more? Well, studies show meditation can actually physically change your brain to make you more open to happiness. The practice has been found to increase gray matter concentration in areas related to well-being. But of course, meditation isn't easy. A good way to start is by building meditative moments in your day. All right, these are moments where you zone out. People don't, all right, meditation, this is like a breakdown of this is from Alan Watts, and I'm giving you a very summarized version. Meditation is the art of hearing things around you, but considering it like music. So you're not trying to identify the things around you, you're just listening to them. In fact, you're just listening to your own voice in your head talk about whatever's going on around you, right? So it's not like you can't think when you meditate. A lot of people think your mind's supposed to be blank. And I'm sure when you get there, it's probably maybe a fantastic feeling that you're not thinking about anything, because I do every once in a while I'm meditating. I realize I'm not thinking about anything, and I'm just laying there, but then I don't feel like I'm executing the meditation well because I have no focus. However, that's one of the goals. So again, don't worry about what you're thinking about. Don't worry about what you're hearing around you. It's all like music. It's just happening. It's a happening. So as that's going on, then you worry about your breathing, and your breathing is more of a, when you breathe in, the air is falling into your lungs, and when you breathe out, it's falling out. So as you're picturing that, your breath doing that, all of a sudden you realize you start breathing deeper and slower, and all of a sudden now you're starting to fall in that meditative state. And then when you're in that meditative state, you can think about whatever you want, and you will, because especially in the beginning it's hard. You're gonna be thinking about all kinds of different things, but they're just thoughts, and you just gotta let them roll. Nothing's wrong. And if you have a problem and you're getting too wound up over your thoughts, which is really the issue, it's not the thought itself, it's how wound up you get over it. Focus back on that breathing again, about the breath falling out, which is the more important breath, because that's the breath of relaxation, and the breath falling back in. And when you start to pay attention to that again, you start to fall back into the meditative state, and you can start listening to your thoughts as if they were music. So it's pretty cool, and it's called brain plasticity, and that I learned from somewhere else, but I understand what they're saying here. A good way to start is by building meditative moments in your day. So you don't have to sit on a cushion in a quiet place. You can grab a few minutes wherever you are, on the bus, waiting in line, at the bank, and simply notice what's going on with each of your 5 senses while you slow down your breathing. That's another great thing too. As you're practicing that breathing, you can feel the air touch your skin. You know, you can feel the cold on your fingertips. All those things make a difference. And if you really hyper focus on them, and I'm not like, what do I feel on my fingertips? You know what I mean? But like, if you just sit there and realize that your whole body's a living organism, and that it can feel and react to things happening around it, your ears can hear, your eyes can see. See, that's one of the things, is you create the world around you. That's why attitude is so important. It's your reaction to your perceived environment, so however you see things. But as far as the physicality of it goes, your eyes produce the light around you into vision, right? Your ears produce the vibrations into sound. Your fingertips, your nerves in your fingertips produce the feeling of touch by the vibration and the magnetism of the things you touch. So all those things, you're creating a world around you. So remember that and feel those senses as they arise in you. And it starts to make you more one with the universe. When I listen to Alan Watts, and I recommend it, it was like the first time, and I'm not one of those huge meditation people that go around telling everybody to do it. But when I was doing it, it actually made me feel like I was in the presence of God. So if you want to feel that, or if you want to try for it, I suggest Alan Watts, Awakening the Mind, and just listen to what he says. You might want to record the audio though, because there's a commercial like right after his meditation, and that part kind of sucks. It's on YouTube. As you develop this habit, you can use it to calm your mind and body as needed in the rush of daily life. We experience a constant pulse of energy and a sense of urgency, says Dunn, which activates the fight or flight response. Your shoulders are tense, your heart is pounding. As soon as you become aware of that sensation, take some slow, deep breaths. If you can extend your exhale, say breathe in for 4 counts and out for 6, even better, she adds. That's because the more you do out, the more relaxed you're gonna get. That's relaxation breath, so remember that. I know what you're thinking. how do I get a lower risk of premature death? It's a question we all have. And people who are happy and enjoy life have a lower risk of premature death as they age, according to research from University College London. What? People that are happy and joyous live longer? That's crazy. Of course they do, but I'm glad they did the study. It seems that enjoying life can lower stress, and that can lead to a longer life. The study, which included factors that could influence the results, including wealth, education, health issues, and depression, were taken into account. During the 3 times they were asked about their level of enjoyment in life, 24% of the respondents never once said they enjoyed life. 20% reported once or twice that they had high enjoyment. More than 33% said all 3 times they had a high level of joy. Those who consistently said they enjoyed life were 24% less likely to die during the study's follow-up period, compared with those who said they find little joy in their lives. Wow, that sucks. You interview somebody who's like, yeah, I don't find that much joy. Next time you interview them, you don't, because they're dead. That's miserable. That'd be a terrible study to do. How crappy would you feel? Like, oh, he was such a nice guy too with his whining. See, that's another thing about me bitching, is that if I don't enjoy life while it's in front of me, I don't try to succeed in it, I don't try to be better in it, then what am I doing? Other than being disappointed in myself and lacking joy, which will lead to a premature death, and I ain't looking for that. You know? Important caveat, look, this was an observational study. That is, there is no cause and effect relationship between enjoying life and living longer, and being happy doesn't mean you will automatically enjoy good health. Well, I'm glad they brought this up then, because I was thinking that they actually had proof that if you are happy and joyous, you live longer, but by the end of it, they're like, nah, we just asked them questions, then asked them later in life, and you know, some of them lived and stuff, and some of them didn't, so that was a rip-off and a waste of time. I'm just saying out loud to everybody. Anyways, I still recommend a happy, joyous life, and hopefully you'll live longer. So does sexting make you a pervert? Well, first we gotta ask ourselves, who is sexting? Well, pretty much everyone is, from your neighbor to your boss. If you haven't sent or received a sext message, you're in a distinct minority. 82% of US adults admitted in an online survey conducted by Drexel University that they have sexted in their previous year. Given the possibilities and implications, both positive and negative, for sexual health, it is important to continue investigating the role sexting plays in current romantic and sexual relationships, says study co-author Emily Stasko. The study found these astounding results, they said. Astounding results. All right, you bunch of perverts, here we go. I'm just kidding. 88% of participants reported ever having sexted. Yes, 88%. Who hasn't sexted in their life? It's kind of something you do. It's fun. It's exciting. You never know if they're going to share with anybody else. You never know if they're going to keep it to themselves. It's all like this up in the air kind of situation, and it gets, I don't know, it's just a little bit of a thrill, you know. 82% reported they had sexted in the past year. Nearly 75% said they sexted in the context of a committed relationship. Of course they did. That's how it starts, right? They're like, well, it wasn't committed at the time, but it became committed. Why? Because I sealed the deal with the sext. 43% said they sexted as part of a casual relationship. I think that's where a lot of the sexting comes in, because that's when it's still exciting and thrilling after you've been in with someone for a while. Maybe the sexting is like, I've seen that before, you know what I'm saying? It better be sexy. You better be getting dirty with it somewhere. And then if you're getting too dirty with it, why are you doing that there while I'm not? What's wrong with you? So it could go, you know, vice versa, any way you want it to go. Additionally, the researchers found that greater levels of sexting were associated with greater sexual satisfaction, especially for those in a relationship. Participants who identified as single, 26%, had significantly lower overall scores for sexual satisfaction. The researchers also found that greater levels of sexting were associated with relationship satisfaction for all but those who identified their relationship as very committed. So, greater levels of sexting outside of very committed relationships. So it's like committed, down. Have a lot of sexting going on. Very committed, they don't need to sex, they're probably madly in love, they talk to each other all the time, and they only cheat every once in a while. But that being the case, no, I'm just kidding about the cheating. Sexting is exciting and fun, and if they're not sexting you, who are they sexting? If 88% of participants reported ever having sexted, and they're not sexting you, could they be sexting someone else? That's what I was thinking about. That's kind of a negative outlook on it, so I don't really want to dwell on that too much. But I just think the whole idea of it's fun, you know? And every girl that sexted a guy, you gotta wonder if he shows his friends. Because there's a 50-50 shot he does. I remember I used to tell my ex, you know, a couple back, that when she sexted me, of course I show my friends, I want to show you off. And then my next ex, I realized I should not do that. And so I stopped. But at the time, I thought it was hilarious. I was also a lot younger. Yeah. That was obviously that when I say XX, it's before Nicole. But still, nevertheless. Yeah. So, anyway, sexting, I'm all thinking about it. I remember those days when I was a bit of an ass, you know. But anyways, thanks for being part of my experience. It's Big K Experience and the Spilt Milk Show with the B.